Hey everybody, I'm Katrina, and here with me I have the beautiful Adrianna Mosley. How are you today, Adrianna?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, hanging in there. So, if somebody's watching you for the first time and they've never seen you wrestle before, how would you describe your wrestling gimmick?
I would say my wrestling gimmick is mostly based on I would say Jim Jones, the cult leader, kind of like drink the Kool-Aid. Um, and I mixed it in with a little bit of Mortal Kombat.
Nice.
That's something I really like because I'm like a really big anime and uh, gamer.
Yeah.
So that's all your gimmick is about. It's you. You never want to be, you never want to have a gimmick that doesn't suit you because, like, even though your gimmick changes a lot during your whole wrestling career, it's something that you don't want. You don't want to fake it
Yeah.
because it won't basically like your wrestling. I don't know what to say, but um, it's just something that suits you, and that's something that I'm really passionate about is like anime, gaming, and just like cults in general, like the leadership and everything.
Oh, nice. So, how long have you been wrestling? But what got you into wanting to wrestle? Like, what was that like aha moment for you?
um I never knew who my family was until about a year ago, so I wouldn't say my family got me into it. um I would say my friend took me to a wrestling show. um it was actually PPW in Milford, Delaware. They're no longer running.
Uh-huh.
Um, my first show, I fell in love with it, and then I started going more often. Um, and then I finally realized like this is my passion.
So how long have you been wrestling? Like, is this like something new? Has it been like a few years?
It's been a few years. I started training 5 years ago, and I officially started wrestling about 3 years ago.
Okay, not too bad.
Yeah.
So if you could have like a dream match with anybody, even, male, woman, whatever, who would be like somebody you consider like a dream match to have?
I would say I would love to have a dream match with Nia Jax. I feel like that would be like not only a good match but a good storyline, like big Samoan against another big monster.
Nice. And do you have like, if you could work at any promotion, where would you want to work and why would you pick that promotion? If there's any promotion you can ever choose to work for.
I would say Limitless. I made a manager debut about 3 years ago. Um, just Randy Carver, like he's amazing. The locker room was great. It was really friendly, great vibes, and I would say Randy's just a great person to work for.
Uh-huh. So, um, you said that your gimmick is based on Mortal Kombat, a bit of you, a bit of anime, a bit of cults. What would you say is like your favorite anime, your favorite Mortal Kombat character? Like, what's like you threw all of that in there, which I actually really, because I love anime and Mortal Kombat is the shit. So, so like, who are your favorite characters, your favorite anime, and like, how fun was it for you to like incorporate those parts of yourself into your gimmick?
My favorite anime I would say is My Hero Academia. Like that's just my favorite. I'll rewatch it every single time. Um, my favorite Mortal Kombat character would probably be Noob Saibot and maybe Katana and definitely Sindel. Like she's just a bad bitch.
Definitely.
Um, I would also say, yeah, like it was like really fun, and like just to incorporate everything because it actually like made me hype about like I would have to say, um, like a year ago when I was wrestling, I was
Yeah.
saying, yeah, I'm a daughter of death, but it's like, who is the daughter of death? Like you're just like wrestling in a red and black like gear, like it's not showing anything, but Um, and I didn't really take time into, sorry, my smoke alarm is being stupid. Um, I would say just like I think I really needed the maternity leave because it actually made me piece everything together. Like, what do you really like? Okay, you love Mortal Kombat, so maybe you should put that in your gear. But then also, like a lot, it was just so fun just putting it together. And then like kind of, I did like a little gimmick where drink the Kool Aid.
Uh-huh.
So a lot of people are just like, "What is this?" And people are so enticed by it. So I think it was that's one thing that I can say was like really fun is seeing people's reaction to everything.
Nice. I like that. I love Katana. She's actually my favorite Mortal Kombat person, but then Sidel is definitely like badass, like definitely super badass. So I respect that. What would you say who's like who's your person like in any match you ever had? Who's your favorite match you've had? Who's the person you wrestled against and why?
Um, I'm trying to think who was probably my favorite match. Probably JL Kodo. JL's like been my best friend for a couple years. Um, like we just know each other. Our move sets, it's like we don't have to call anything in the
Uh-huh.
match. We just automatically know this is what we're doing. We talk to each other. Um, and it's just fun just working with her. She's a fun person to be around. I love her to death. And just being able to wrestle her multiple times, like I'd do it on any day. Just she's just amazing.
Nice. I think I done a few of these interviews and it's always nice when I hear like wrestlers tell me like those stories of like who they liked wrestling. But I think it's always more dope when it's somebody you actually know very well. Like, you know, you can might have the good chemistry or good matches with people, but it's always I feel like it's a different type of bond when it's somebody you personally know on a personal level. So that's pretty dope. Who's some of your favorite wrestlers growing up and who are some of your favorite wrestlers currently in any promotion?
Um, someone I used to watch. I really liked watching Bret Hart. He was one of my biggest. Um, I would say Rikishi was another one. Um, some of the wrestlers I like seeing today would be like MJF. I love how he is. I love his attitude.
Uh-huh.
Um, just everything about how he wrestles and everything. Nyla Rose is another big one. Uh, Sunny Kiss. I feel as though I would say Nyla Rose and Sunny Kiss are like the biggest wrestlers that I love following. I know
Uh-huh.
them personally, just because they're one of the big reasons why wrestling is changing. A lot of people are
Yeah.
the courage to come out and be like, hey, like I'm a transgender or I'm gay or anything. Because a couple years ago, a lot of people would be shamed over it.
Yeah.
Uh, but I feel like they made really big changes, and I can definitely respect them for that.
They're both really good, actually. And I got to meet Sunny Kiss, I want to say sometime last year at a promotion in New Jersey. I was with somebody who was like photographing there, and he was very nice. So I'm so glad he's finally on a platform where everybody else can see how, you know, dope he is. I think they should have, you know, got that a long time ago with
No,
him. What would you say is like the best part of wrestling? And then what would you say is the worst part of like wrestling for you?
the best part of wrestling is the fans. They just make everything great. Also, the people that you meet, like you have some people that are just ugh, but a lot of people that you can like. Social media is really big. Um, you can like add someone you may not meet somebody in person, but you find out they're dope online, and then when you finally meet them, like yo, you're dope. You're even more dope in person,
Yeah.
and just being able to share that experience, I think meeting new people is really big. The thing I least hate about wrestling would probably be the drama. Like even though it may be exciting at one point, but I would say like a lot of people get away with certain things, especially people that were sexually abusing a lot of people that I know in the business, and they're still like able to be in locker rooms, even though
Yeah.
it's not my locker room to say what they can be in, but it's just the fact that someone has to deal with it. Someone still has to see their face and everything, or some people are being cut off because, oh, you're falsely accusing someone when these people actually went through pain. So
Yeah.
what I probably say would be the least thing I like about wrestling.
Yeah, that's totally understandable. I did see some of that play out on Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
with the speaking out movement, and it made me, because some people who said stuff I knew, and I was just like, oh, this sucks. Like, just
Yeah.
from personal experience that had nothing to do with wrestling, just it sucks to have to even come out and say something and then hope, there's always a backlash when you say something and hope that people won't automatically assume you're lying or that you want attention. It's always like that really weird, sometimes, like, it's hard. Like, I was telling somebody else, it's just really hard sometimes to come out in a situation like that and try to explain, well, this happened, this is my story, and then you got well, did it happen? And it's a very tough thing. So for like everybody who was saying things, I was just like, my heart was with them, because it was just like, I totally understand from personal experience how hard that is to, want to do the thing that you love to do, and then you're still in a place where you're not really comfortable because this might have happened or the person wasn't, you know what I mean? So I definitely understand like that aspect of like the trauma and stuff. I definitely get that.
Yeah.
If you could have like a dream tag team person, or if like a dream stable and you had like your whole badass stable and you just like taking over the wrestling world, who would be in your stable or tag team?
I would say my best friend, the Hitman for Hire. I would say he'd be in my stable. Um, Probably MJF would be one. And Sent to Slaughter. I think they would be um, just like our little fraction.
Mhm.
Like I think that would probably be dope. Um, Kind of like I don't know, just like our gimmicks kind of fit together because I have like that I'm better than you gimmick.
Uh-huh.
Is basically how my gimmick is. Like I seem pleasurable at first, like I feel like I'm on your side, but then really I'm like here to damage you. So I feel like we would really piece everything together. It would be really great.
Yeah, that sounds dope, especially MGF. He has like such a, his whole gimmick is just like you kind of want to like punch him in the chest or something, like, bro, chill. But then it works. So he definitely gives off that like super egotistical guy. And
Yeah.
I like, you don't like it, but then you respect it. It's like that, like, oh, you're kind of annoying, but like respect, if you're like that confident in yourself, you kind of have to respect that. So that would sound pretty dope. Um, who would you say had the greatest impact on like your wrestling career, or like if any part of that in general?
Um, I would say Grim would be one that's had like a big impact on my career. For one, he's helped me get into the business.
Mhm.
Um, and he like we talk literally every day, and then whatever ideas I have for my gimmick, or if he has any ideas of how I can better myself, and he's always like helped me. We necessarily don't see eye to eye sometimes, but he's always been like a great friend and a great mentor to me.
Oh, that's I love that. I think um no matter what people do, it's always good to have that one person that's in your corner, or like, ready to like just support you. And even if they give you that tough love kind of respect, 'cause sometimes we need that. Sometimes we need that tough love, like, listen, get it together. But definitely like love that and appreciate that you said that. What, like, I know wrestlers have to travel a lot, even if they don't stay in like their state that they're in. What is like the best part about being on the road, and what is the worst part about being on the road?
The best part, it's like the best part is when you ride with someone. I remember I would take road trips with Grim, and then I took a road trip with Jonathan Gresham. Um, that was just being able to ask questions on how to better yourself, because I know Jonathan Gresham, he's doing well for himself in this business. Being able to make new friendships. Um, I would say the worst part is sometimes the long drives when you're alone.
Uh,
Uh, I know I had to drive over 12 hours by myself, and it sucked, especially not really having like listen to the same songs on your playlist. So it's always great to see new places, get new experiences, um, but obviously everything has a pro and a con to it.
okay. And what if you wasn't a wrestler, what would be your next dream job? Like, what is that like? Ooh, if I wasn't wrestling, this would be the thing I'll be doing.
Oh man, I'd probably be ugh, can't speak, a homicide investigator.
Ah,
Um,
nice.
yeah, I'm like into the gruesome stuff, so
Yeah,
so
that's how I am about the ID channel. It's bad. The obsession I have for that channel is real. Like, it's so bad. Like, I'm like, I get paranoid. Like, not about me, but I'll be just like, listen, my friends, like, I need you to call me in case I hear that call about you ending up in a ditch somewhere. I just need you to let me know you good. Like, I'm that person who always thinks somebody's out to kill somebody. Just the obsession is so bad. So that was like one of the, I didn't want to do detective stuff, but I always wanted to be like a prosecutor for like criminals and stuff. Like, I would throw everybody in jail. I was like that person, like, listen, you did a crime, you're going to jail. I don't care. So that's super dope that you want to do that, especially if you like that, because that's definitely me. I'm like that really weird person who likes stuff like that. Um, who would you say like your favorite match of some other wrestler of all time? Like something you've seen recently, something you saw growing up. Who would you say was like that was my this is a match I can watch over and over. I'll tell anybody, oh, check this match out. What match would it be?
oh man, I would say Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss for WrestleMania.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was intense. Um, Either that or the 30-minute Iron Man match with Triple H and The Rock. That was really good.
That was a great match. Definitely a great match.
But it was good.
Let me make sure I read this correct. So, if you could compare, so I don't, some people don't like comparisons, but it's just like, oh, I can kind of see somebody's like compare you to somebody. Who would you feel is like the person like, okay, I can see this comparison. This kind of makes sense. Who would you compare yourself to if you did that? What wrestler would you compare yourself to?
Oh man, I always get the Nia Jax comparison. Nia Jax or Nyla Rose, like especially with my new gear, everybody's like, "Oh, I thought you were Nyla Rose." And I'm just like, "Okay."
I mean, I kind of see it a little. Okay, I get it. I get it. I don't know if I would tell you that, but I definitely can see it. Like, all right, I understand. Makes sense.
Like, yeah, I mean, it's not a bad comparison. Um, but yeah, like when I first started wrestling, everybody, especially being Samoan, everybody's like, "Oh, not Nyla Rose, Nia Jax, Nia Jax, Nia Jax," and I'm like, I mean, it's not bad, but
Yeah.
I'd rather be myself. But those are
Mhm.
the two big ones that they compare me to. Is one because of the gear, Nyla Rose, and because I'm big and burly, Nia Jax.
Okay. There's been a lot of talk about intergender wrestling and how people feel about having a man and woman or binary. I don't want to just include everybody in that, but like, what are your thoughts about matches where you can go against like a man can go against a woman or a woman can go against a binary person? Like, what are your thoughts on those type of matches? Because I've heard some very very different opinions the last couple of weeks. So, what are your thoughts on intergender wrestling?
I love intergender wrestling. It's just fun. Like, um, it's good to get some testosterone experience.
Uh huh.
Being able, because some it's nothing against other female wrestlers, but sometimes they don't want to do much because they're afraid they're going to get hurt.
Uh
But
huh.
I like when guys like actually lay it in, because guys actually will get rough with you, and actually give you some experience of like, hey, this is, because sometimes we forget that wrestling, like sometimes you have to feel pain, and a lot of people they don't want to feel
Yeah.
pain, but guys they don't give a shit. They're like, I'm gonna throw you across the ring and you're gonna take this. Okay, I'll take it. But I love it. It's great to see like different things happening, because a lot of people are like, oh, well, you can't wrestle a guy because you're a girl, or girls are supposed to do this, girls are supposed to do that.
Uh
Like,
huh.
just stop with the gender role playing.
Yeah.
Like, um, but yeah, I really enjoy watching intergender wrestling, and actually fighting guys and maybe transgenders and everything.
And who would you say your favorite intergender matches between anybody?
I like watching Killian McMurphy, because he has like that collegiate gimmick, and he's kind of like his gimmick's like an asshole, and the way he works, it's like he's kind of like spitting, like not literally, but like spitting on the females, kind of like you're not supposed to be here, kind of shit. Like I love watching his matches.
Nice.
Yeah.
And speaking on intergender matches, and I'm gonna go over to gimmick matches. What are your thoughts on gimmick matches when a match is a specific gimmick type of match, like when they have like ladder matches or like hardcore matches? And if you like gimmick matches, what would be your favorite type of gimmick match? Either the one that you've seen or one that you would like to participate in?
I love death matches. Because I'm just weird. I love blood and gore. I'm just like, stab him, like just throw him on the barbed wire, like he's not bleeding enough. I wouldn't participate in one myself because when like, it's not because I'm afraid of getting hurt. It's just afraid, like I see how I am. I'm just like murder him. But yeah, like I love gimmick matches. I might do a hardcore match. But as far as that, like my favorite is like death matches. Like CZW Tournament of Death is like my Christmas. It's a long day, but it's like so worth it. But yeah, death matches are yes.
Yeah, I feel like I have to watch those in like a little bit at a time. I can't watch too much of that. Like I'm like, all right, like, are you hurt? Do you need like some assistance? Do you need medical assistance? That's always my thing. I'm like, oh my god, this might be really hurt right now, and everybody is cheering this on. Like, but okay, can we check to make sure he's okay? So I can't, like, I have to watch that very minimally, like a little at a time. I cannot watch a bunch of those. I get like so worried for the person. Like, oh my god, like, are you like, how are you guys cool with this? So I ooh, but I get it though. I know a lot of my friends definitely like the death matches, and they're like, "Oh my god, let's do this!" And I'm like, "No, I'll just watch that one, and then you don't have to." I can't like so. What are your thoughts on the current state of wrestling, like right now?
Like as far as how things are going.
Yeah, as far as like even with the amount of promotions we have, or some people feel like wrestling has kind of declined in quality over the years. Some people feel like it's the best thing happening. What are your thoughts on what's happening currently in wrestling?
I feel as though COVID is a big issue right now. I would say wrestling is getting really big, and kind of women are carrying wrestling. Women's wrestling is becoming the thing now. Um, I feel like it's declined a little bit, but it's not because of the quality. Um, but it's just this whole virus that happened. It's kind of playing that fault of how wrestling is going. It's like we want to excel, but COVID's like no. But I feel like it's going great.
Yeah, I was just telling a friend of mine, like I was like 2020, I was ready for this year. I was like, yes, I'm gonna do all these things this year. And then 2020 was like, yeah, no, that's not happening. You're gonna just be like sad and you're gonna be in your house all the time. And it's like it totally just changed everything. And I miss going to wrestling shows. My last one was in March, and I was like, if I knew that was my last wrestling show, I would have stayed so much longer and like had like put it all more in because I was like, I'm like, oh, I gotta get home. It's late. If I knew, I would have kind of stayed a little longer because now I'm sad. Like I don't know when I'm going to go to a wrestling show again without having to worry about, everything that's happening. It's so like stressful and like scary and everything.
Yeah, it's like I mean, that was like kind of because at the time where the whole quarantine happened.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
I want to kiss.
Go. I was pregnant at the time.
Hmm.
So my son was due the first week of April. So I'm like, oh, well, I'm going to get back to wrestling and I'm going to do this and this and this. Like, I'm not even going to wait the 6 weeks. And then quarantine happened and I was like, oh, okay, well, that's great. But I feel like I needed the time to heal and be able to work on myself, not only physically, but mentally.
Uh-huh.
Um, and work on my gimmick. And I would have to say thank you to COVID, but then screw you, COVID, because a lot of promotions that I wanted to work for are currently not doing shows. So trying to kind of get my foot in the door a little bit.
Okay, okay. Would you say you had to make like a lot of sacrifices to wrestle? Was it something that wasn't too hard, or was it something you had to sacrifice a lot to do?
um, I would say kind of yes. I had to sacrifice time with my family and kind of like my kids. Just like spending time with them. Family is everything to me. Um, but at the end of the day, my family is always going to be there for me, no matter what. And I kind of had to sacrifice some friendships because they were like, well, like you're kind of like shitting on my passion. It's like
Yeah.
you don't see me like shitting on what you believe in or what you want to do. Like this is something that I really find like I'm really passionate about, and
Hmm.
um, like I'm not gonna lie, like I get depressed sometimes, but like my depression was horrible when I first started wrestling, and I realized that it was kind of like an outlet for my emotions.
Hmm.
So it's kind of like, dude, I explained to you how I'm not so depressed when I'm wrestling because it makes me happy, but you're kind of like shitting on it. So I would have to say like I sacrificed a lot of relationships and friendships because of wrestling.
I get that. I don't wrestle because I can't take no bump. Like if I get flipped in the ring, I'm just gonna lay there for the rest of the show. Just gonna be there. Well, like okay, guys, I just wrestle around me. Personally cannot do that. But I definitely understand. A lot of times people don't get whatever it is that you're passionate about. And just like, but why? And it's like you don't really need that negativity, you know, when it's coming to something you really are passionate about. You kind of
Yeah.
just have to. Unfortunately, it sucks, but you kind of have to cut those ties sometimes to kind of do what you need to do. So when I feel like one of the best parts of a wrestler are their gimmicks and their finisher moves. So what is your finisher move and how did you come up with it?
Um, my finisher move is a spine buster. How Triple H does it. Um, I hate to say his name, but my ex my ex boyfriend Picard kind of introduced it to me. I can't stand him, but I will have to say he introduced me to it. But at the time, I did it like for Roop. Um, One guy at my old school, Rob Falkenheimer, uh, he had introduced me how to do it, and he showed me how to do it the way that Triple H does it. So I would have to say the way I do it now, Rob Falkenheimer got me introduced to it.
Nice, nice. What is something that you want to do in your wrestling career that you haven't done yet?
I would love to go to Japan. I've been to Germany for wrestling,
Uh-huh.
um, but I would love to go to at least two other continents or um, countries. I would definitely love to do like a camp in Japan. That's one of my biggest goals. I wouldn't say I would probably achieve it this year, but maybe next year.
Nice. So do you like New Japan Pro Wrestling? Because
No,
personally, like I found out about them last year, like that you won at MSG, and I was like, so where the heck was I this whole time this is going on? I didn't know they were like existed and they're so amazing. And I'm like, I love like they don't have to do so much with the gimmicks. Like they have gimmicks, obviously, but they're so low key compared to some American wrestling, and like so nobody else find how dope this is that they can do all of this and don't have to be over the top with their gimmicks. They can just like do very little, and I'm still like, oh my god, I can't wait to how it happened next. Even sometimes without it being translated, I have no idea what they're be saying, and I'm just like, so nobody sees how dope this is, and I have no idea what they're saying right now, but this is so freaking dope. So I love New Japan. I kind of wish COVID didn't mess that up too, because I was looking forward to them coming back to MSG so I can like be all into like cheering like I was last year because I was very entertained. I was like, so why did I not know about them? Like, this is amazing. Like, Japan have great wrestling, and the Japanese fans are so like respectful. Like, and I'm like, this is so different from American fans. American fans are rude sometimes and they feel entitled, but Japanese fans are just there, like, enjoying the show. And I'm like, hello, America, learn something, please.
Yeah.
Learn something. So that's pretty dope. I hope you get to do that because that would be amazing. Japan's like so cool for that. So this is my last question for you. Where would you see yourself in like 5 years from now with wrestling? Like, what's something you see yourself like in 5 years doing?
I would say I would see myself on TV. When I'm determined about reaching one of my goals, and my top notch goal is to get on TV, whether it's AEW or WWE.
Mhm.
I definitely say in less than 5 years. If 5 years now, I'll probably be on like a main roster. So that's where I see myself.
And would you see yourself in like WWE, AEW, Impact? Where would you see yourself in like?
AEW. I feel as though my gimmick fits more AEW.
Mhm.
Um, and I see a lot of people like they're keeping their gimmicks, but um, they're I forgot his name now. Who's the owner of AEW? God damn it, Fozzy. Fozzy's basically like really respectful of his employees. Not saying that Triple H isn't, but WWE changes people.
Yeah.
Not just the promotion, but when they hit WWE, when they make it big, um, they're just like, oh, it's whatever, forget you, kind of.
Uh-huh.
But I noticed with AEW, like a lot of people, like they stay humble, and they're actually wanting to help people.
Okay, I like that. I hope that happens and I get to see you in AEW. Because I try to watch all the promotions, like that crazy person that we try to like keep up. I try to keep up with everything just because it's there. So why not? So I have my preferences. So I hope you get that and you can reach that goal. And I can see you in Japan. I can see you in AEW on my TV every Wednesday. And when they have women wrestling, it's not on YouTube because I was a little annoyed by that YouTube thing with the women's tournament. Yeah. I was just like, no, put them on TV so we can see them. Don't put them on YouTube. Like they should be on TV to showcase what you guys are trying to do with the women's division. So aside of that kind of annoyed me. I would look forward to seeing you. So I hope that all works out for you. Everybody check Adrianna Mosley out. I think she's freaking awesome and dope. I love the whole anime Mortal Kombat gimmick. That's amazing. I mean, if you're a nerd like me, then you'll love it too. And thank you guys for joining us. And I will have all her links in the description. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Later, guys.